Good morning, Kentuckiana. It is 7 o'clock on your Sunday morning. Thank you so much for waking up with us. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez. Let's get you some weather right now. We are joined by Nicole Hartford, who is back with us today. Nicole, good morning to you. Good to see you again. Still kind of muggy out there this morning.
Yes, good morning. It is a muggy start. That's really the only downside to the current conditions. It's beautiful otherwise. As we look from our sky camera in Jeffersonville, you can see a lot of sunshine out there. A couple clouds lingering, still following yesterday evening storms, but we'll keep a mix of sunshine and cloud cover in today. Yes, it is pretty muggy. Our dew points, which are a measure of our humidity, are in the upper 60s. Typically, once you get into that upper 60s, low 70s range, that's when you really start to feel the stickiness of the air. And unfortunately, that humidity is going to stick around for today and tomorrow, and then we might finally get some drier air as we move into this upcoming week. For right now, it's mild. We're in the 70s at Bowman Field, 72 degrees, in Louisville at 73, with winds out of the south-southeast at about 5 miles per hour. There are a couple spots in the 60s, especially as you go a little further south, but for the most part, we're in those low 70s to start off the morning. Certainly no jacket needed, especially when you factor in the humidity. With all that moisture in the air, some isolated showers and storms are again going to be possible throughout the day today. Already, there are a couple little showers developing up further to our north into Indiana, but nothing in our neck of the woods. Through the next few hours, we will stay mostly dry, but those showers and storms become a little more likely into the second half of the day today, especially closer to 1, 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll watch as a few of those isolated showers and storms start to develop. It won't have much of an impact on temperatures. It's going to be another pretty hot day. Highs will get up into the mid to upper 80s. With the humidity, of course, it will feel a little bit hotter. Although rain today stays pretty isolated, more widespread rain is in the forecast for Monday, so I'll talk more about that timeline coming up. Gabe?
Thank you, Nicole. New this morning, 2 men were shot at a large party in Old Louisville. Metro Police say it happened around 1:30 this morning on South Floyd Street. Both men had non-life-threatening injuries and were taken to the hospital. Investigators believe the shooting happened after an argument broke out at a party in the area. Right now, police say they have no suspects. And we have an update this morning from police on a double shooting in the Russell neighborhood. Police had previously said one of the 2 women shot died at the hospital. Now, police are saying she's in critical condition. The second woman is still expected to survive. That shooting happened around 9:30 last night on West Madison Street near Elliott Park. If you know anything about these 2 shootings, call that anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. As the United States Supreme Court recently handed down several rulings, one of them leaves the fate of birthright citizenship in question. WHAS 11's Jose Alonso spoke with a constitutional lawyer in Louisville who says this ruling focuses on the Trump versus Casa Incorporated case. Specifically, this challenges President Trump's executive order seeking to redefine birthright citizenship, which is guaranteed under the 14th Amendment.
Constitutional lawyer Michael Abadi is always keeping a close eye on the Supreme Court. On Friday, the justices handed down a ruling that this attorney says leaves birthright citizenship in question.
It has been under the Supreme Court's case law and under practice for hundreds of years that if you were born within the United States, you're a citizen of the United States. And Trump wants to change that.
Abadi says in this case, Trump versus Casa Incorporated, multiple pregnant women challenged the president's action on behalf of their children.
And a number of judges across the country had agreed, said that the executive order is plainly unconstitutional, and they issued injunctions, meaning they said the executive order cannot go into effect. And they made that effective everywhere.
The Supreme Court ruled in a 6-3 vote that those federal judges cannot make these injunctions nationwide, rather limiting it specifically to those who brought the lawsuit.
But it's obviously going to have massive ramifications, not only under birthright citizenship, but for all sorts of constitutional rights.
The president spoke publicly after this ruling.
It was a disaster where somebody from a certain location in a very liberal state or a liberal judge or a liberal group of judges could tie up a whole country for years because their decision would sometimes take years to overturn.
So the Supreme Court has not said that Trump had the power to change the definition of citizenship, but This is why this case is so important. If a court limits the ability of judges to enforce rights on a one-off basis, just to the plaintiff in front of them, in many ways, that makes that right unavailable to anybody who can't afford or doesn't have, the means to hire a lawyer who's going to bring a lawsuit and go to court and get their own injunction.
In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 on your side.
And Abadi calls this ruling concerning because it won't just impact non-citizens in the country. He says if the president can take something written clearly in the Constitution and then mark it out, then people's rights could be a target as well. Well, we've reached the end of the first week in the murder trial that has captivated the Bardstown community for nearly a decade. We learned new details this week in the Crystal Rogers murder mystery, from cell phone data blowing holes in the main suspect Brooks Houck's alibi to the involvement of Houck's mother, Rosemary. Here's some of those big things that we learned this week during the trial. During opening statements on Wednesday, prosecutor Shane Young accused Rosemary Houck of being the mastermind behind the plot to kill Crystal Rogers. According to Young, it was Rosemary who reached out to Danny Singleton a week before Crystal's disappearance, asking him how to get rid of someone. Danny Singleton also appeared on the stand this week, confirming he was contacted by Rosemary. Young says Rosemary did not like Crystal and thought she was beneath the Houck family. On day 2, Detective John Snow took the stand describing in detail his initial interrogation of Brooks Houck. WHAS 11's legal analyst Nick Mudd says interrogation and written statement made by Houck could be the key to victory for the prosecution. We also learned that Brooks Houck's brother, former Bardstown police officer Nick Houck, first caught the attention of investigators because of a phone call during his interrogation.
I know that. The way that I look at it is, I'm innocent. I ain't done nothing wrong. I know you told me innocent people have got jammed up, but if you're telling me to leave, I'll get up and leave. If you want me to.
Meanwhile, the defense hitting back, accusing the police of zeroing in on Brooks Houck because of the pressure from the public and the media. During cross-examination, John Snow admitted there was not a shred of evidence found to help solve the case as many as 4 years after Crystal's disappearance. And on Friday, digital forensic detective Tim O'Donnell took the stand and presented cell phone data that blew holes in Brooks Houck's written statement he gave years ago. Houck's statement never mentioned that he was on the family farm the morning Crystal went missing. O'Donnell testified that Houck's cell phone data contradicts that. The data pinpointed him at the farm and the house, which were not mentioned in his original statement. Legal analyst Nick Mudd called this the most significant piece of information revealed for the prosecution so far.
Now, certainly cell phone records are great because they really are tough to refute. We all have cell phones. They hit off towers. You walk down the street, it's hit off. It shows you a roadmap historically of where you have been and when you were there. Doesn't necessarily say why or what you did, but again, it's another piece of the puzzle.
You can see a full breakdown of our coverage from the week on our WHAS 11 blog. Each day, we brought you daily updates from the courtroom, and we will keep breaking down the trial as it goes on. You can watch the latest recap from the trial right now on WHAS 11 Plus. Shane McAllister and Alexandra Goldberg share what went on from inside the courtroom, and Doug Proffitt and Nick Mudd breaking down that trial daily. You can watch it right now on WHAS 11 Plus, download on your TV, and watch for free.